You're listening to Needle and Thread on Live from Studio B. I'm Sarah Aronson here with Maddie and Ella Zulig. Welcome to MTPR during our Spring Pledge Drive.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're so excited to be here.
I was hoping you two would start by talking about your musical roots. I know you have a pretty interesting story, how you came to Old Timey.
Yeah. It all started with our dad. He was a square dance scholar and fiddle player, and we grew up around the music. And honestly, we didn't start fully playing it until we were about 13, but we started dancing, I think, as soon as we could walk. So it was mostly that started us on the right foot.
Yeah.
And once we started dancing, we wanted to play. And we started playing together and singing when we were 13. And there was always just instruments out waiting for us to be played. They were tuned, and it was a good time. We were able to come to it on our own terms instead of people forcing it on us, which was lovely.
I think it's very important for our musical journey. A lot of people have like you have to go to orchestra, you have to play the trumpet or something, and it's like we had the choice to do whatever we wanted to, and we chose this. So I think that means a lot to us to play this music, not for other people but for us too.
When you got tired of dancing, you could pick up a tuned instrument.
Indeed.
That sounds nice. What were the first instruments you did pick up?
We both started with fiddle when we were like 4 years old, and I don't think we got past like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star until we were like 10, because we stopped playing after a bit, and then like re-picked it up at around 13. So
and that's when I learned banjo and Ella learned guitar.
Yeah.
It was about 13.
You started to sort of differentiate and pick your own.
Indeed, yeah.
strings.
Exactly.
Okay. I want to talk more about your album, Galena, after maybe a next song.
Yeah.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Sounds good. We gotta fix our tuning here. That last last song ended on a sad note. I have seen snow that fell in May. I have seen rain on cloudless days. Some things are always bound to change. There ain't no ash will burn. Love is a precious thing, I'm told. Burns just like West Virginia coal. But when the fire dies down, it's cold. There ain't no ash to burn. You say this life is not your lot. Well, I can't be something I'm not. We can't stoke a fire that we ain't got. There ain't no ash will burn. Love is a precious thing, I'm told. Burns just like West Virginia coal. But when the fire dies down, it's cold. There ain't no ash to burn.
In every life, there comes a time where there are no more tears to cry. We must leave someone dear behind. There ain't no ash will burn. Love is a precious thing, I'm told. Burns just like West
We'll be back with more music and conversation with Needle and Thread, but first let's hear from Brian Ramirez in Master Control and the Spring Pledge Drive team. Welcome back to Live from Studio B Spring Pledge Edition. I'm here with Needle and Thread. Let's hear another tune.
All right.
Sounds good.
as white as any snow. There is a place called heaven, you know, where my tender little babe will go. And don't you see that black powder, as black as any hole? There is a place called hell, you know, where you and I must go.
You're listening to Needle and Thread on Live from Studio B, the Spring Pledge Edition. I'm Sarah Aronson here with sisters Maddie and Ella Zulig. Again, what amazing traditional music. You know, I've heard many renditions of House Carpenter, and I want to know from you two, what does it take to inhabit a traditional song in your own way?
I think first, like, getting inspired by a version of it from somebody else. I think they always say that, I'm forgetting the phrase now, but copying is like the best, like,
Form of flattery,
exactly, yeah. So I think that's how we find a lot of our songs, is just like, you know of the song, but then hearing a version of it that like really speaks to you, I think is important. But
Which
yeah.
version of House Carpenter are you thinking of?
We listened to the Onlys version quite a bit, and yeah, that inspired us. It's tough though, because most versions are like full band versions, and
Right.
it's just us two. And so I think we have to get creative in the way that we arrange things, and we'll just start messing around and go from there. And magical things happen sometimes. So yeah.
It comes across. I was wondering, as sisters, how analytical or intuitive are you about harmonies or instrumentation? You know, do you get a spreadsheet out, or do you just feel your way through each song?
Yeah, we don't read music or anything, and so it's very much just by ear and listening to each other. But I think it helps we share some genetics. I think that definitely goes a far way, and especially with the harmonies, I think a lot of people come up to us and they're like, "Man, your sister harmonies are so tight," and it feels super special to sing with someone who basically sounds the same as me.
It's true.
And yeah, it's just a special thing from our perspective too. We're super grateful to want to play together in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah, that you can stand each other.
Some siblings can't, but we have our moments. But
Just speaking of the sibling connection, I'd love to hear a little more about what each of you brings to this project. You know, what are your superpowers?
I don't know. I think Maddie is honestly, she's the one on the banjo. I know you guys can't see us right now, but I think without the banjo, we would be nothing. Well, we're needle and thread, but I think I'm just the and in the middle, and Maddie's the needle and the thread.
well,
That's how I always see it, I guess. Yeah.
I feel the same way about rhythm guitar and backup. I think that's what keeps us grounded, and then Ella's fiddle playing also adds some magical little ditties in there most of the time. And yeah, I think it's a beautiful culmination of both things, and especially when we're like writing songs, it's very much a collaborative process, and it's not
True.
just one or the other. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, our brains might be very similar, but they also think differently and can like attack problems from like different angles. So, yeah.
I'm glad you brought up your own songwriting process, because I know this album is comprised mostly of traditionals, but there are a couple originals, and I don't know if you're going to play any of.
We will, yeah.
Okay, excellent.
In a little bit here.
We'll get to
Coming
that.
up.
We'll get to that. The songwriting process. How does traditional music inform, your original work, or sort of vice versa? Coming up with your own songs and then applying that to
Yeah.
traditional.
I think like older songs have a very different character to them, and like there's a lot of like murder ballads, and it's just like the things that are important to us now are very different, and you can tell that through the songs. I feel like most songs these days are about love and like losing someone just like in a relationship, but like back then it was like physically losing somebody or like somebody, you know, it's like songs are just like gossip basically. It's like the drama of the town, and they used to just be like,
Yeah.
well, Johnny just killed whoever, and I'm
That's
gonna write
right,
a song
that's
about
right.
it. But
It's also very much like a storytelling versus now where it feels less about the story and more about whatever else they're trying to write about. So yeah, I think we try to have a story when we write songs, but I mean, we're gonna play a song about duct tape up next or soon, and you know there's so we throw in some like super silly things too, which I think keeps it fun and keeps the creative juices flowing in a way. Yeah.
totally.
You know, what really stood out to me is that song Duct Tape just seamlessly blends with all these
Somehow.
traditional songs. Somehow. It must be the magic in your work. So why don't we hear one more song before we take a break?
Yeah, sounds good. I think we'll pull out both the fiddles.
That's great. And just so listeners know, we have a small audience here who are lending their applause and attention.
Yes.
Thanks,
Very grateful
guys,
for you guys.
coming.
We'll be back with more music and conversation with Needle and Thread, but let's jump across the hall to Brian Ramirez and Master Control and hear from our pledge team. Welcome back to Live from Studio B, Spring Pledge Edition. I'm Sarah Aronson here with Needle and Thread. We're going to hear some more music.
Yeah.
Once I had an Eddie, and he worked down in a hole. Once I had an Eddie, and he worked down in a hole. Digging and hauling, hauling that Birmingham coal. Every day he left me, and he went down to that mine. Every day he left me, and he went down to that mine. Hunger and sorrow and are gonna keep from crying. Yodelay, yodelay, yodelay. Something like a picture that they sent down in a well. Something like a picture that they sent down in a well. One where they break it, Lordy, Lordy, who can tell? It was late one evening, and I was standing at the mine. It was late one evening, and I was standing at the mine. Almost had my daddy hanging down for his last time. Yodelay, yodelay, yodelay. Was a cold miner from his hat down to his shoes. Was a cold miner from his hat down to his shoes. And I'm nearly dying from these mean Nottingham blues. Yodelay, yodelay, yodelay.
Again, that's Needle and Thread live from Studio B during our MTPR Spring Pledge. Ella, where'd you learn to yodel?
You know, it's a dying art, but I learned it from a friend.
A same age friend or an older
An
friend?
older friend.
That's remarkable. Your album, Galena, it refers to a special place and a special person. I know your narrative on your website talks a lot about this. I would love for the listeners out there to hear, what was the inception and who is it dedicated to?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the album is titled Galena, which is the hometown of one of our dear buddies who just passed away a few years ago, and we would not be here without her. She really inspired us to play the music that we do and be comfortable with it. I think when we started playing it, there was no, 13-year-old girls, girls in general who play this music, hard to come by, and then, young people. So we just felt a little bit out of our comfort zone, I guess, and we were trying to fit into something that we didn't really know how to fit into. And yeah, she was an Ozark lady. Galena is located sort of on the border of Arkansas and Missouri. And yeah, you can talk some about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, her name is Kim Lansford, and soon after we learned to play, we would go visit her. She was one of our dad's friends, and we would go stay with her and visit her and play music with her. And it really inspired us. She was a role model, and we just hope she's smiling down from heaven and with her old Jimmy up there. Yeah. And we miss her every day.
Mm-hmm.
And is this the guitar?
It is not, no.
Okay.
So it doesn't like Montana very much. It doesn't like the changing climate. But yeah, she gifted us in her will an old Gibson guitar. So that's super duper special. And the whole album is recorded on that guitar, which is also a little fun fact.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Other than Kim, who are your other musical influences? Like, who do you listen to get inspired or?
Yeah. There's so many people, but a big person, a influence in our life was Clara Delfina. She taught us a lot of the songs we know. She would handwrite all the lyrics out for us and teach us how to sing them. So she was a big influence.
Yeah.
And
Hazel Dickens and Alice Gerard. We got to spend a week with Alice, again, sort of when we were first starting, and it was cool to see a woman in the industry. But yeah, I think a lot of recordings, honestly, yeah, that's mostly where we get our stuff from. We choose to live in places that don't have a lot of old-time music, which is our choosing, but yeah, we try to get to places that do have it all the time.
Like, you've been living in the Rocky Mountain West. You're from Fort Collins, Colorado. You've migrated west to Missoula.
indeed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering about your sense of community here so far. I mean, it's only been, 6 months or so?
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely are super grateful. There is an old time community here, the Missoula Old Time group.
And they've been
And,
so welcoming
I mean,
to us.
yeah, it's amazing how
We've
welcoming they
been
are.
able to play square dances, and our dads come out to call for a few of them, and they've been super welcoming. And even though it's tiny, it's mighty, and yeah,
Absolutely.
we're growing, and it feels, it's just a nice warm place to go to. Yeah.
Mhm.
What's it like when your dad comes out and calls while you play?
It's a hoot.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good time. He always has a good time calling and seeing us, and it's always great having him a part of the community too.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And I also just learned that both of you are students here at the university.
Indeed,
Yeah.
Studying.
Environmental science.
Look at that. Sisters who
Imagine
study
that.
together, play music
Yeah.
together. How about we hear another song before we take another short break?
Yeah,
Let's do
I
it.
think we're gonna play an original song.
I can't wait.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Duct tape, you are pretty great for fix things that are break, and you can do things like
Fix dogs, lamps, frogs, bikes, falls, lights, falls, beds, sheds, rugs, mugs, duct tape can do anything you want. Dogs, lamps, frogs, scams, bikes, falls, lights, falls, beds, sheds, rugs, bugs, duct tape can do anything you want. Duct tape, you are pretty great for. You might even save my fate, and you can do things like fix dogs, lamps, frogs, bikes, walls, lights, bulbs, beds, sheds, rugs, bugs, duct tape can do anything you want. Dogs, lamps, frogs, scams, bikes, walls, lights, bulbs, beds, sheds, rugs, bugs, duct tape can do anything you want. Duct tape, you are pretty great for. You might even help me bake a cake, and you can do things like Fix dogs, lamps, frogs, bikes, falls, lights, falls, beds, sheds, rugs, bugs, duct tape can do anything you want. Dogs, lamps, frogs, scams, bikes, falls, lights, falls, beds, sheds, rugs, bugs, duct tape can do anything you want. Duct tape, you are pretty great for. You might even save the day, and you can do things like fix.
I do see that you have duct tape on your water bottle. That was Needle and Thread. You're listening to Live from Studio B, MTPR Spring Pledge Edition. We'll be back with more music and conversation after this. Welcome back to Live from Studio B during our Spring Pledge Week. I'm Sarah Aronson here with Needle and Thread. Are we about to go fishing?
We are.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's
Grab
do it.
your rod.
A fly tied on a graphite rod above my head, it's swishing. A mountain stream, a sportsman's dream. How can I keep from fishing? No job can stop my angling thoughts. For every day I'm wishing that life could pay its own sweet way, and I could keep on fishing. A fly tied on a graphite rod, my head it's swishing. A mountain stream, a sportsman's dream. How can I keep from fishing? No job can stop my angling thoughts. For every day I'm wishing that life could pay its own sweet way, and I could keep on fishing. For when the river round me roars, I know the fish they live in. For when they bite a well-tied fly, I know the joy it giveth. No job can stop my angling thoughts. For every day I'm wishing that I could quit, put out a sign that simply says gone fishing. That simply says gone fishing.
You're tuned to Needle and Thread on Live from Studio B during our Spring Pledge Week. I'm Sarah Aronson here with Maddie and Ella Zulig. Was that an original?
It was not, but one that we feel we could have written.
Yeah, it sort of sounds like it. I am curious about, Duct Tape, the song that played before the last break.
Yes.
What is your songwriting process like? How did you jam all those lyrics in?
That was a song we wrote in 6th grade, so I think our songwriting process has possibly morphed since then, but it was actually a school assignment that we did, and it was an ode to our dad because he fixes everything with duct tape, so he was our real inspiration there.
That's remarkable.
Yeah.
How about now? How has your songwriting process evolved, or do you work together separate? Do
Yeah.
lyrics or tunes come first?
I think the idea, like we bring ideas to each other and then we both like work on them together.
Mm-hmm.
And then we usually figure out like a chord progression that we kind of like, and then we add lyrics to it.
Yeah. I feel like we
but,
start with what
yeah.
we called like a song seed, which is just like a phrase or something, and then build from there.
A song seed.
Song
Yes.
seed.
That's beautiful. I was also thinking about both the fishing song and also being in the Rocky Mountains and the Ozarks. Is how does place inform your old time presence?
Yeah.
Are you playing to mountains, or do you think about landscape or just the culture or the people?
I think the place informs the people, and I feel connected to both the people and the land that I play on wherever we are. But it feels special, especially when we're in the Ozarks. That gives me a special feeling inside, as well as playing in the mountains, and I think that informs our songwriting as well as just how we try to emote ourselves into the world.
Yeah, I think something really cool about this music is that a lot of it is played outside. Like a lot of the jams and stuff happen outside.
The
And
festivals happen outside.
I think that's cool. It's like you're inviting all your friends over, and then you're also like inviting
the bugs and the
bugs.
frogs.
Yeah, and it's like we're all gonna play. Yeah.
That's right. It's right. All the animals have a place in the choir.
Yeah.
Why is it important to keep old time music alive?
It's where it all started in a way. I mean, not where. It's part of where everything started.
In the U.S.
Yeah, preserving the tradition and the simplicity of it, I think, is a very important part in the storytelling. is a huge aspect of it as well.
Yeah, I think for me it feels special. It's a give and take. The banjo has a lot of history, but a lot of it is women history. It was a women's instrument first, and I think that feels really special to me, while it carries a bunch of other baggage as well. I like to try and shine that light through. And yeah, it teaches us about history, it teaches us about oppression, it teaches us about racism, it teaches us to come together in all of our differences. And I think that's something that we could all use today.
Well said. Maybe my last plug for you is you've played on some pretty big stages so far. Who have been your favorite acts or places or stages that you've showcased your music?
Yeah, I think one of my favorites was we opened up for Big Richard. It was a bit ago now, but we keep saying this, but like a full female, like old time bluegrass, like night is kind of hard to come by, and it was very special. The Big Richard met at our dad's festival that he put on, so feel like connected to them in a way as well. So that was a really meaningful concert for us.
I feel like all roads are leading to your father.
He's
It's
yeah,
true.
he is yeah,
Can we
like
get
the
his, can we
little
get his
hot-
first name?
Bob.
Classic.
Good old Bob.
Good old Bob.
Yep.
Well, I'm hoping you'll play one more song for our listeners tonight. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah,
Yes, thanks for having us.
We're gonna end on the tune that ends our album. So go listen to it if you like it. And if you don't
Where
like
can
it,
people find you?
anywhere.
Yeah, we're on all streaming platforms as well as Bandcamp, and we have a website. And yeah,
What's your website?
our website is needleandthreadmusic.com.
Needleandthreadmusic.com. All right. Let's hear some fiddling.
Okay. It's called Cheyenne Waltz.
That was Needle and Thread. Live from Studio B is produced and mixed by Christopher Moyles. Video production by Jake Williams and Jay Bradley. Special thanks to Noah Epps, Brian Ramirez in Master Control, and the rest of the Pledge team. I'm Sarah Aronson. Thanks for tuning in to Live from Studio B.